Good morning, VUSD. Welcome to the 2010-11 school year. I continue to be honored to serve as your superintendent. The presentation this morning will remind each and every one of us that we are so very privileged to serve the students of Ventura Unified School District. The students in the presentation are students who have overcome great adversity, barriers, and against all odds have become the very best of VUSD. You will see students who are kind, caring, generous, successful, and again, despite the odds, they have thrived and succeeded under the care of Ventura Unified School District. Sit back, enjoy the presentation of Don't Stop Believing, and believe me, at the end of the presentation, you won't stop believing.
As soon as I saw the email asking for extraordinary student nominees, I thought of Miss Genevieve Warner, a lovely girl in my 4th grade class, and I knew I had to nominate her. She herself is a success story that happens every day in my room 14 at Loma Vista Elementary School. Genevieve has been at Loma Vista since 1st grade. As a baby, she was diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy. In 2008, a rod was surgically inserted in her back to help with support. She is non-ambulatory, in a wheelchair, with leg braces, and has a feeding tube. Because of the outbreak of swine flu in the fall in Genevieve's fragile respiratory system, home instruction was recommended by Jen's doctor through the fall and winter months of this year. I'm very grateful that I was fortunate enough to have been her home instruction teacher during this time, for I think that I actually got more out of it than Genevieve did. During this time, I feel that I got to really know Genevieve. She is very social and very personable, and she's funny. Oftentimes, she'd say something or make a connection with insights so clear and true, and yet so subtle, I was amazed. I grew to both love this little girl and to admire her immensely. She proved to be a willing, serious, and persevering worker. For 4.5 months, we studied reading, writing, math, health, science, and social studies for 5 hours every week at her home. However, I had to double up on my teaching hours during the Monday through Thursday days, as she didn't want me to come over on Friday, because on that day, she said, she had too much going on. Most Fridays, she'd have sleepovers with her friends, either at her house or theirs. Genevieve is academically at the very top of the class. She's a quick thinker and catches on quickly to new concepts. She just needs to be told once, and she gets it. Oftentimes during a math lesson at her house, Jen would come up with a correct answer before I was even finished asking the question. And I would check, and she was right every time. She's very bright, needless to say, and I did recommend her for gate testing. She has very strong beliefs and convictions. The insight she showed on many issues and the connections she made went way beyond 4th grade level. I came to realize that this tiny girl, who needed help with so many things that most of us just take for granted, has super great self-esteem, and it's delightful to be around. I believe this is due to the way her parents have raised and continue to raise her. She is treated at home with respect as a person in her own right, the way teachers wish all children at home were treated. Her thoughts and opinions are valued. She is valued. Genevieve is back in my classroom now, and the other students and I are very happy to have her there. She has slipped right back into place like she was never gone. She is out at recess in her wheelchair, holding the jump rope while others jump, or trying to cook up a garden club and take over part of the grassy playground for planting. There's usually always a group of children surrounding her, talking to her, and planning what they'll do next. She's very well liked. I'm so glad to be Genevieve's teacher, and she's my student, but I think of her as my friend too. Teaching her and getting to know her well is one of the best things I've ever done. I feel very rich to have had this experience, for she's brought out the best in me. Precious, special, and utterly delightful is Miss Genevieve Warner.
Carlos Oviedo moved to Ventura at the beginning of his senior year and enrolled at El Camino High School at Ventura College. He felt El Camino High School would be the best fit for him to continue to progress towards graduation while taking college prep high school classes and holding a part-time job. You see, Carlos moved to the area from Bakersfield because his girlfriend was about to have a baby and lived with her mother here in Ventura. He made a choice to pursue his education in Ventura so that he could be an active part of his daughter's life. Carlos enrolled in all college prep classes at El Camino High School and participated in work experience. He moved in with his girlfriend and her mom and was quickly the main financial provider for the household. The entire school year, Carlos worked to pay the rent for his family. Around the holidays, financial situations became bleak, but Carlos persevered and faithfully turned in all his work hours for school and continued to be an exceptional father to his baby girl, Oliva. It is rare to see any father as attentive to his infant child, let alone a 17-year-old. On one occasion, Carlos brought his daughter, Oliva, to school, and he left to expertly put her to sleep and then returned to complete an exam. It is obvious to all who meet Carlos that he is an attentive and caring father. This year, he qualified for Renaissance and came with the school to Magic Mountain. He received the Most Improved Student Award at Senior Luncheon, and he is now a high school graduate. I have no doubt that Carlos will go on to achieve his goals of being a college graduate and a fantastic father to Oliva. He and his girlfriend Susanna just became engaged, and the ECHS staff was the first to hear the news. Carlos is an outstanding young man who has persevered with determination and dignity, and it has been my great pleasure to get to know this fine young man.
During the 2 years we worked with Jackie at Pacific High School, we watched Jackie deal with overwhelming issues in her life as a daughter. Throughout this time, she demonstrated strength and stamina not often seen in someone her age. We are so happy to be able to share what we know about this remarkable, resilient young lady.
At about 45 years of age, Jackie's father was diagnosed with late-stage, early-onset Alzheimer's disease. Despite his declining health, he maintained a loving relationship with his daughter. Jackie was the primary care provider and his constant companion. She held 2 different waitress jobs during this time, and most of the money she made helped with groceries and essentials. Because of her responsibilities, she had trouble getting to school consistently and on time. She thrived at Pacific Johnson and produced a lot of work to make up for deficient credits. At the same time, she worked with county agencies, the Alzheimer's Association, and with Children and Family Services to secure an appropriate living situation for her father. Despite her situation, Jackie did not consider herself a victim. She was most often upbeat at school, preferring to fit in as any other student. At one meeting with several agencies, I asked Jackie when she last had new clothes. She said that she only had secondhand clothes given her by friends. She could not remember when she had new clothing. Her only Christmas present in 2008 was a Vons gift card for food. She never complained.
Flash forward to today. Jackie has had some bumps when she first went into foster care system, but ended up with a wonderful foster family. She has become an advocate for other foster youth, having spoken in Sacramento several times before lawmakers. She's now living in her own apartment, attending classes at Ventura College, and working at The Habit. Jackie's an excellent student when she puts her mind to it. Her goal is to graduate from high school as soon as possible and continue her studies at Ventura College, transferring to a Cal State or a UC campus.
She has many vocational interests, including teaching, counseling, and writing. She is in touch with her father, who is in a continuing care facility in Santa Paula. She remains active in her advocacy of foster rights and in casual contact with her former teachers and counselors. Jackie is the most resilient student we've met in all our years of education.
When William was diagnosed with autism at 18 months, his family was told to consider institutionalizing him. They refused. He began working with Easter seals at age 2.5 and is still a client of Tri-County's Regional Center. When he began school, he was put into special day classes from grades K through 10. At the end of 10th grade, his teachers wondered what more he would be able to accomplish if he were in general education.
He started his 11th grade year in college prep English. English is a challenge because William is very literal. When he's asked to make inferences, it is uncomfortable for him. However, he exceeded all of our expectations. Halfway through the year, his special education science teacher felt he wasn't being challenged enough, and so college prep biology was added to his schedule.
In both college prep classes, he has maintained a B to C average. Modified grading was discussed at his entrance into these classes as an option if needed, but he has not needed this accommodation. Daily, William still feels the challenges of his autism in his interactions with others and his struggles to think in an abstract manner. But he perseveres with the backing of a very involved father. The rest of his family, including an older brother, have also been very supportive in this endeavor.
As his teachers, we most admire William's work ethic, his ability to interact and relate to his classmates, and his willingness to adjust to a classroom that constantly stretches his comfort zone of routines. William has taught us all to be more open and accepting of others.
He has also showed us that the old cliche, anything is possible, is based in truth. William has broken all stereotypes for students with autism. He is another student who brings many gifts to each of our classrooms. Without reservation, we recommend him for this honor. He does with courage and valor achieve success in spite of his challenges he was given at birth. We hope you will get to meet this remarkable young man.
When Brawley was 8 years old, his dad brought him and his 3 brothers to the United States, leaving behind the life of chaos, poverty, and violence that was the only life he knew in Mexico City. Little Brawley had attended school intermittently, but was shocked by the 3rd grade here. After a short stint in Lompoc, the family settled in Ventura, and Brawley began attending Montalvo Elementary. Although the adults at Montalvo were helpful, Brawley was confused by the new language and all the new routines. He didn't understand most of what happened, but his dad inspired him to keep trying. He latched on to the gentle giant, Mr. Ayers, and stayed after school every day to read with him. When he started seeing success, it inspired him to work harder and to do even better. As his English and school skills improved, Brawley kept working hard. Originally, it was to please his father and impress his teachers, but now, a senior at Ventura High School, he has realized the value of intrinsic motivation. It sounded perfectly natural to hear Brawley say, "When I come to school, it's always with the purpose of doing well." It's refreshing to hear a teenager so self-aware, never mind using adverbs correctly. In addition to being achievement-oriented, he stays true to his heritage and enjoys performing community service. Brawley was active in the Mecha and Ritmo Latino clubs at Ventura High School. Brawley was recommended for AVID, the Advancement via Individual Determination program, in the 8th grade, and he made the most of it ever since. It wasn't simply enough for him to earn good grades. He needed to learn the skills and information to enable him to apply for college. His mom and dad completed grades 3 and 8 respectively, so they were not well equipped to guide him through the succession of PSATs, A through G requirements, SATs, college applications, work experience, community service, leadership, tutoring, AP classes, financial aid applications, and other more nebulous aspects. Brawley was quick to humbly give credit to those who worked with him to succeed. Somehow it doesn't sound trite when Brawley remarks, "It's the American dream."